Alright guys, what's going on? Got Wars 10 and 11 of Season 43 here. And this is going to be our second rematch of the season. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be our last. This is a war against Salty. And so we rematched PBT earlier in the season. And we won both of those. And I don't think that that's right either. But at this point, the season is over. You guys, have probably seen the leaderboard at this point. We have only lost to two. We only lost to two alliances last season, and that was Salty and GT40. But yeah, this is our second time facing Salty this season. I just don't think that rematches should be happening. There's 20 Masters alliances. There's way more than 20 Tier 1 alliances. Surely there are enough teams for everyone to match each other, and that way you don't get penalized for doing well. The way that the matchmaking system works right now, I'm just going to talk through these fights because you guys have seen them before. The way that the matchmaking system works right now is basically it goes by war rating and it goes by season record. So if you and another alliance are the only two undefeated alliances left in Tier 1, you're probably going to match each other. And you can rematch once every 6 wars. So in theory, you could only face 6 alliances in the entire season. I just don't think that that's a great way of doing things. And what it does is if an alliance has a bad start to the season, let's say that we started the season off and we lost our first 3 wars. The rest of our season, we would probably not match GT40, we would not match Salty, we would not match New Nation, we would not match anyone that had significantly less losses than us. We would match other alliances that had lost more. So it almost penalizes playing well, and if you're not going for a top 3 finish or something like that, there's no benefit to winning early wars because it's just going to make your season way harder, and I think that Kabam needs to look into that. So okay, whatever. Section 1, I've done those fights a million times this season. Section 2, I'm going to be facing this thing again, same exact thing that I faced last time. He's only here because his specials when he's at 15 rock stacks are unblockable, and you have to dash back more than once in quick succession to, not trigger the regen. Same thing with his heavy attack. If you're not comfortable interrupting it, you're going to trigger the regeneration. So here he's at 15 rock stacks. Usually if you just stand open like this, he'll throw it from across the map, but he didn't want to today, so I am going to trigger the regeneration. And then I'm going to trigger the protection, so it just kind of elongates the fight a little bit. And, spoiler, this war time did become a huge factor in this war. So, next up here, this is going to be a rank 1 7-star Sauron. This is my old alliance mate Waters Sauron. He was an LVT for a season and a half or something, maybe 2.5 seasons, I don't know. He left us to go to Salty, so yeah, he's kind of he has a lot of mutual friends in LVT and stuff like that, so I don't know why I'm offering context on who people are. I think just because this is kind of a nothing fight. Sauron is a really good defender in this meta, just not on this node, not with Omega Sentinel on the table. So, moving on, I'm going to be taking this Korg. Korg is not dangerous here with Omega Red allowed. You can take him here with, pretty much anyone. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, he's another defender that I would consider one of the better ones in this meta. But yeah, so maybe he's here because he has like negative energy resistance or something, so like, you know, you do a lot more damage to him with energy attacks, and on this node you can't deal energy damage, so maybe that's why, I'm not sure, but either way, a very easy fight. And then this last fight here, this is going to be a Kingpin on node 48, and this is actually the last time that I took him here because this fight does go a little bit sideways. I've taken it before and it goes pretty well. The reason that Kingpin is so dangerous here is because if he goes to his special 3, he is going to stun you. And, you know, if he stuns you, you're pretty much dead because he is going to have almost 2 bars of power coming out of his special 3 because of power reserve. So yeah, this is just a very, it's a dangerous place for him, especially if you're not using a tactic attacker, and I should have used a tactic attacker here, or assigned one, or a Hercules. Hercules is stun immune after the special 3, so you can just use an Infilm and have a guidance and just like parry, heavy him, tank a couple special 3s, and yeah, he's gonna go down. So that's what I did the next time that I saw him here, was I assigned Hercules. But yeah, you can see this fight's taken quite a bit longer than it has when I've taken it in the past. And yeah, not much else to say about this fight. I am going to come out of it alive, so I'll just start talking about the results. The results of this war, we did lose, so we traded some deaths with them. It went back and forth. You know, we died early, then they died a couple times, so we were winning, and then we had kind of like a bad death, like a death to a fight that was basically just, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was like somebody used like the wrong 3-minute boost or something. So it tied it up, and they were pretty much done. We had like 50 fights left, so we knew that we were going to lose on time. So it was kind of this like mad scramble. It was like, okay, everyone turn on suicide masteries, everybody like, you know, max damage masteries, max attack boost, max everything, and you know, we need to try to close the gap on time here. And I'm trying to see, yeah, I mean, you can see how big the time difference was. So like a few fights into trying to like push the issue of time, we had like a death with a really good matchup that would have never happened otherwise because we were trying to speed through it. And so we ended up losing by 1, but you know, we barely even count that death like within the alliance. It wasn't the person's fault at all. And yeah, so kind of a frustrating loss, but you know, it is what it is. This is going to be Matrix. So Matrix was pretty high on the leaderboard when we matched them, and these are pretty good bands. Like the tech bands, I think, you know, a lot of people have had success with them. Omega Sentinel was so good for this meta. Future Ant-Man, so, you know, I think those are 2 of the best attackers in this meta. So, really good bands on their part. I'm going to be starting off on path 7, once again taking this Mole Man. So in this war, it does get kind of interesting, and I make a couple mistakes. So here with Mole Man, I'm just going to back him up, lock in degen. I don't care what specials he throws, it really doesn't matter. He's not going to be shrugging anything, so any prowess that he gets are going to be from me, like landing critical hits. But yeah, fight's over. Moving up here, this is going to be a Mr. Fantastic. So this is actually like pretty good placement for him. The reason he's here is because if either champion, him or you, have a non-damaging debuff on you, there is a chance for him to evade. So when you knock him down here, you're putting an armor break on him, and when you do that, he has a chance to evade you. So, you know, pretty smart. However, he's gonna go down really quickly, but that is like, I can track the thought process there, and I think that it's a smart place to put him. I don't think it'll get a kill, but it is smart. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit wonky. So I am using Omega Red here. I removed Dexterity for this fight. I have an Odin Shock Resist, and this is a rank 2 Wong. So my goal here was to just build up a couple spores, and after this I'm only really going to hit him to lock them back in. And so there's one thing about Wong, two things that you have to know. Don't trigger a buff when he's in his like blue spell, or he's gonna go unstoppable. And if you kill him when he's above a bar of power, the next defender that you face with that same champion that you used to kill Wong, they're gonna get like a bar and a half of power and a fury buff at the start of the fight. So you can see I killed Wong, he was over a bar of power. I haven't fought him in forever. And yeah, so I'm gonna go into this Kingpin fight next, which is just like the perfect place for this to happen. I didn't notice the cross fight or anything like that, so you're gonna see right here, did not notice the power gain and the fury. And then right there, I hit him one time with 0 points in precision, and I crit, so now he has the power gain plus a prowess, so he's gaining power from that. So, and then right there, I try to parry him, and I didn't have enough spores, and he shrugged it off. I think he had like a 40% chance to shrug it off at that point, because I had like 6 spores. So now I'm in the corner. He has 2 bars of power. I don't have an invuln on. Or no, I'm sorry, I do have an invuln on, but the invuln isn't gonna save me from the long stun after his special 3. I am running max limber, but I'm just kind of standing here wanting him to throw the special 2. And I'm too scared to lock in spores, because if I crit, he's going to a special 3. So I'm just kind of like tapping him, hoping. Sometimes if you change the amount of power that a defender has, right there he hits me 2 times, and look at his power bar. So he is not going to throw the special, and just look at my health. So finally I realized, like, okay, I can combo, I can get to a special 3, and this is gonna do it. But that got so dicey. Like, I mean, I took a minute after this fight. You know, I was in the process of taking all of my fights along with somebody else, and I was just like, okay, like, I need to take a little break. You can see, you know, other people cleared their fights, and I came back. I was still kind of shaken up when I took these next 2 fights, though, and it'll show. So next fight here, this is going to be a Scorpion versus a Dr. Doom. You know, this is just here as a path split. Either that or his, like, resist, if he has his aura up and you throw a heavy or a special, it counts as, like, a purify. That's possible. But for the most part, this just felt like a path split to me. And, you know, that's what people should be doing. And in Tier 1 War, you should be doing anything in your power to make sure that the other alliance cannot use one champion to clear an entire lane, like in Section 1 or Section 2. The whole point of defensive placement is to force compromises. You want the other alliance to have to, like, assign a less than ideal matchup to one of your fights, because, you know, there's just, they can't have a perfect counter for everything, right? So here, unfortunately, I'm going to take that whole special 2 onto the block. I tried to dex out of it, but it's probably smarter that I didn't, considering how I'm playing right now. Gonna go ahead and throw a special 1. He is going to throw his special 1. You know, I can be full dexing these, like I do that in Battlegrounds and stuff, obviously, but in this particular instance, I was just like, no, I need to play safe after that Kingpin fight. So Gonna go ahead and put on my Suicide Masteries. Now I removed them for that fight so that I could spam specials. Gonna heal my Omega Red up, unfortunately. And I have one more fight here, and this is going to be a MCoC. It's only a rank 1 MCoC, and he is not on node 54. I would not be taking him. But this is just going to be a MCoC on Conflictor. So, you know, I don't need a guidance here. I think we just had an extra one. So I'm just medium light, heavy, medium light. It just prevents him from getting the prowess puncture. Lock in another set of spores here. And you can see he's just melting. He's going down super quickly. And I do have an invuln on for this fight. I think I had it on, but right there I lose the whole thing. And once again, he comes really close to getting to a special 3. And, you know, I could have just finished him with a combo there, but yeah, not a clean war, not a good showing from me this time. But that's just kind of been my entire season. I feel like I have just had a horrible, horrible season with horrible, horrible fights where I'm like dying or getting lucky and not dying. But yeah, gonna go ahead and tag Kyle here to take this Mephisto. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of my war. We did end up winning. We put up a 1 against them, which is, you know, really good, obviously. They had a pretty strong defense. They had really strong bans, stronger than a lot of other alliances. You know, for us anyway, we don't really use a lot of the champions that people ban against us, because I think that people just fall into the meta. They see what other people are doing. They do the same thing, but they don't really take into consideration like how often other alliances like use those champions. And also now with matchmaking being the way it is, you don't know who you're gonna match necessarily unless you're like paying attention a lot to who has the same win-loss ratio as you. So either way, you know, just to I guess close, super bummed about the Salty War, really happy about the Matrix War. We have 1 war left and then the rewards opening. And the last war, War 12, is going to be against GT40. So I'll see you guys in that war. It should be a lot shorter. And yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.